Hello. In the last video, I was I was saying that men are more violent than women, and the reason is because of the reason of investment. Whichever partner invests more in children, they tend to become more picky, more choosy. And I said, beetles, for example, the females lay the eggs, the men stay there, stay home, and take care of the eggs. Because of that, females now engage in competition for the males. And since there's competition among the females become more aggressive, they become bigger, more violent as well. So in human beings, it is pretty much the same thing. There's men compete for women, men are larger, men are more violent, and so forth. And I said, if you look at the prison system, you can obviously see that because there's way more men in prison than women. Homicides, sorry, men commit more murders, more homicides than women. Most serial killers tend to be men. In the United States, the school shootings are done mostly by young men, often unmarried young men and unemployed young men, often men with little resources to attract women. Um, you can clearly see the problem with sociobiology because this idea makes it sound as if I am simply my genes, you are only your genes. The, I think the most one can say about genetics is that genes do predispose people to a certain behavior. I think a few years pass, scientists discover certain genes in the human body that predispose people to violence, aggression. That is, if you have those genes in your body, it increases your chances of becoming a violent, aggressive person. But what this theory doesn't say is culture, your family upbringing, what you get exposed to in life, all of them play a role whether or not you will become a violent, aggressive person. Right? So there's genetics here, but there's culture. Culture creates a balance between genes. So genes predispose people to behavior. That's pretty much it. Let's say again, in your family, you have a history of breast cancer. Your grandmother had breast cancer. Your mother uh, had breast cancer. You think, well, I may have breast cancer too. You see, no, it's not guaranteed. You have to include personal life choices like diet, for example, which chemicals you put in your body, exercise, and so forth. So it's not quite clear. You can't quite say because my grandmother had it, my mother had it, I'm going to have it too. Yes, there's a chance, but again, personal life choices can decrease um, your risk. Now, whether it's true or not, sociobiology has given rise or gave rise in the past to designer babies. Designer babies. In 1924, in America, they passed an anti-immigration law. The purpose of the law was to limit immigrations here. If you're Chinese, if you're Asian in general, Africans, um, Italians, if you're Jewish, they did not quite want these people to migrate to America because there was a fear you're going to mix the genes. Uh, and we had laws against interracial marriages. You see, a black man, a white woman couldn't get married because you're going to mix the genes. We had those laws in the book until the 1960s. Um, Back then, the government even said, I think 1927, that some people are too dumb for them to have children. What if they had the wrong genes, Again, using this idea, they thought your whole psychology, your intelligence is the product of genetics. So if you're dumb, it's because of your genes. If you have children, well, your kids have your genes. You may have dumb children. If you're smart, intelligent, it's because of your genes. If you have children, then your kids may be smart, may be intelligent just like you. So the government try to tell people which person can reproduce, which person cannot reproduce. Now this was the past, but except in the 1990s, there was what's called the Human Genome Project, a project whose purpose was to map out all the genes that make up our bodies. It lasted about 13 years, involved scientists across the world. Now, because of this project, slowly, we're gonna go back to designing children. If it's true, there are certain genes in the body of human beings that predispose them to violence. When a woman is pregnant, should they scan the fetus, the embryo for these genes and remove them if they find them? See? Designer babies means that soon, when a woman is pregnant, in fact, before a woman is pregnant, you're going to be able to choose anything you want in your child. It's already possible to choose the sex of your child. If you want a boy or a girl, it can be done. But soon, height. How tall do you want the baby to be? Eye color. Do you want your baby to be, to have green eyes or blue eyes or brown eyes? You can choose that. Hair color. You can do that. Sexual orientation, that's a bit complex, not clear whether or not we can tinker with that. Oh, skin color, that's a big deal. You'll be able to choose the skin color of your baby. So this means before you even have a baby, you could go to the doctor. You say, doctor, I want a child, a boy, 6 feet tall, blonde, blue eyes. And you could make them strong, athletic, so they could play, say, I don't know, football or basketball. Even genes that increase intelligence, they may be able to play with those things. You see the problem. So this means there will be two kinds of people in the world. Natural, simple people like you and I, and people that have been designed. And the people that have been designed, they will be superior. When it comes to health, when it comes to how long they can live, because it will be possible to even slow down, delay aging in the future. So should we do that? You see, that's a big problem. Let's just take one example, skin color. Imagine if you give people the power to choose the skin color for their babies. What will they choose? Especially in a country in which there's racism. It's been me, a black man, can have a child who looks Caucasian or Mexican, whatever skin color that I want. A Caucasian person may have a child that doesn't look like them. And since apparently skin color is a matter of, well, comes with certain privileges, you see how dangerous it is to allow people to choose skin color. Worse, well, not worse. What if, let's say, you design your baby, you make the baby 6 feet tall, blonde, blue eyes, and you make them strong so they could play football and basketball. And then When they grow up, they say, Mom, why did you make me this way? I don't like being 6 feet tall or blonde or blue eyes and all that. So maybe we should let it happen. We should just have children naturally instead of designing them as if we designing toys and cars, and all that. Okay. So if indeed sociobiology is true, human behavior is grounded in genes, natural selection, evolution by natural selection. And then designer babies are going to be a big, big, big deal. Again, there will be two kinds of people like you and I, but the designer babies will be genetically superior because they could build genes for them. For health reason though, that's actually a good thing. Let's say when you're pregnant, they analyze the genes in the fetus and they say, Mom, the fetus has a gene, let's say XYZ101. And because of that gene, when that person is 65 years old, probably he will develop Alzheimer's, dementia or something. But the good news is that there's something we can do about it right now. We could remove the genes. Should you do it? And you see, for health reason, every disease, well, not every, most diseases that are based on genetics, you'd be able to get rid of them before even the child is born, because whatever genes predispose them to certain diseases, the scientists, the doctor will be able to get rid of them. So for health reason, everybody is on board. It's when you do it for aesthetics. You're going to choose eye color and a hair color, how tall you want them to be. It becomes a problem. Lastly, this may increase the gap between rich and poor people. What if this technology is so expensive, only rich people can do it, only wealthy people can do it? They could design the kids, they're going to be healthy, intelligent, super intelligent, and other people can do it. You see? Then the gap may go larger, right? So to conclude this section, sociobiology is partially true. Yes, our ancestors, there are things that are passed down to us from them, genetically also, psychically. Yes, genes predispose us to certain behavior, but you have to take into consideration culture, family upbringing, environment, personal life choices. Because this makes it sound as if, you're simply our genes. Also that's a good excuse for people to use, to cheat on their partners, because you say, well, that's just my genes made me do it. No, take personal responsibility for their personal choices. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you.